They're here to change.
Dogs and inmates both learn life lessons as part of a new training program. Plus, university students lend a helping hand to patrol the Ped Mall.
The Shout program's intended to keep people downtown safe.
Next, we take a look at what makes the Longfellow Neighborhood a special place to live.
Community is just our front yards.
And finally, recognize this sound? What you need to know about the Leaf Vacuum Program. Stick around for these stories and more, coming up on Iowa City in Focus. Training a dog takes time, which is something the small staff and volunteers at the Iowa City Animal Care and Adoption Center don't always have. So in order to get the canines they take in ready for a new home, they're turning to an unlikely place.
What's more important to me is not what happens inside a fence, it's when they go home. Are the guys better when they go home than they are while they're sitting in here? Locking somebody up 24 hours a day and giving them 3 meals and then say go out and sin no more, we'd like to believe that works, but it's proven over and over it doesn't. So you've got to do things that make people vested in life. When they get out, they know how to live life as good neighbors to somebody.
For nearly 20 years, Jim McKinney has been a warden at correctional facilities across Iowa. When he transferred to the Iowa Medical Classification Center 2 years ago, he acted quickly to implement a therapy dog program.
You tell inmates how to be responsible, but telling somebody and actually learning responsibility are two different things. So what I did was realize that a dog is going to teach responsibility because you got to wake up in the middle of the night, take care of them, you have to clean up after them, you have to feed them. You have to start thinking about the dog instead of always about yourself.
Using inmates to train dogs was a concept that Animal Services Supervisor Liz Ford had thought about for years. So when the prison reached out to expand its program, there was zero hesitation.
That was the word I needed. It's like, there's no better time, we need to make this happen.
With a small staff, mostly made of volunteers, there isn't always enough time to work with the shelter animals as much as they would like.
Those dogs that come in that are either very fearful of people and they need practice and they need to learn how to trust people, or dogs that are really rambunctious and ill-mannered and lots of jumping up and sort of crazy behavior. Those types of dogs don't really show well in the kennel environment at the animal shelter.
The dogs are matched with an inmate who live and work with the animal to improve manners and teach basic obedience skills.
When they're ready to go back to the shelter and go into a kennel and find their forever home, they're more well-behaved, they present better, they're more adoptable.
Volunteers with the Animal Center work with the inmates to set goals and teach them proper training techniques.
A lot of it's just socialization, social skills, being able to stay still when someone pets them, being able to sit quietly and politely at a door, being able to not lunge and jump. And I mean, these are things that we would expect from a pet, but don't always come from the dogs that we're getting in.
Their body language is actually pretty amazing once you're able to learn about what exactly they are telling you.
You have to be patient, you have to take your time, you have to show them love. You can't just get mad at them and throw in the towel, they don't deserve that.
Taking part in this program is a privilege for these inmates. It's a responsibility they don't take lightly.
These guys are committed to learning about dogs and committed to being the best dog trainers and dog handlers that they can be.
It gives them a sense of purpose, they feel good about themselves, they feel like they're giving of themselves.
Many of the dogs the animal shelter takes in are neglected and abused. And the process of rebuilding trust is something many inmates can relate to.
Some of them are kind of broken when they get here, and well, some of the guys that get here are kind of broken as well. So when you can see that process of rehabilitation, that process of changing lives, one dog at a time and also one person at a time, it's really amazing to be a part of something like that.
A lot of it comes from learning how to deal with yourself and patience and learning how to be compassionate, because a lot of the dogs that we get in here now come from a lot of rough backgrounds. I mean, just like some people that are in here too. So, I mean, the matchup is really something unique.
You come from the regular prison environment to where you're looked at every day for what you're here for, and then you get to have a dog that is it has no sense of what did you do wrong, why, what, you know what I mean? I mean, you get the unbiased attention from a dog.
The program uses reward-based training methods, setting a positive environment in the facility. And through the process, they develop strong bonds with their animals.
Paisley's kind of the queen around here. She's amazing at what she does.
Every day with Sibby is goofy and fun.
And through that bond, they learn a tough lesson.
They don't know what it's like to love unconditionally and then have to give something up for the better of everything. There are tears. There is joy, though, to know that how they interacted with the dog changed that dog's life to where it now has a forever home.
These big guys, they work out all the time, they got tattoos all over them, and you look at them, you're like, that's a tough guy. And then, they take their dog and you just see them break down to the most basest human form. And I mean, it cuts you sometimes, it really, but I mean, in the same point, it kind of returns you to humanity, and you really realize that these people are people too.
While only a select number of inmates get to take part in the training program, others still get the benefits of having a pet around.
The day brightening factor that these dogs bring is amazing.
When you're set in a real prison and you watch guys on reception and they get out of line for the phone to get into line to pet the dog. You see men that do the big tough guy thing and they just melt. They absolutely melt when they get to pet a dog.
The handlers work with their companions to bring light to other inmates during their darkest hours.
There was 4 or 5 of us going for this therapy visit, and I saw this kid sitting over by the phone, and I walked over to him. I said, "Do you like dogs?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Would you like to pet one?" He goes, "Well, can I?" I said, "Yeah." And after we was done, and we really didn't talk anymore, but he looked at me and he told me thank you. And I thought, okay, this is what I do, but you're welcome. He said, "No, really, thank you." He said, "Because now I'm able to call my mom and have something positive to be able to tell her."
Including regular visits to an inmate who has a terminal illness.
And here he is, he's gonna die in prison, and he's allowing this dog, and he gets up there and he just hugs her and pets her and loves on her, and you could just see him for that moment being a happy guy.
The lessons learned through this program will help guide the inmates as they transition back into society.
I haven't always been the most social of people, and so I think this has really forced me to interact with people on a professional level and really learn how to deal with people.
This program is helping not only rehabilitate dogs, but it's rehabilitating the inmates, the guys. They're putting their hearts and souls into it. I've never seen a program work as well as a dog program.
It is really about second chances, and it is about having faith and trusting.
They're all contributing, and that's making inmates better people, and that's our ultimate goal in prisons. It's not to keep people locked up, but to make them better citizens when they go home.
And for the inmates, the program is working.
Most of us are here for a reason. Literally the idea to be able to help, to be able to do something positive and healthy and good, and to give back to a community. For us to be a part of something like that is pretty amazing.
It's been a real adventure of growth and reflection, and they say hindsight's 20/20, and it's true, because I mean, I look back at the person I was a year ago before I joined this program and the person that I am now, and I mean, it's like I'm actually looking at a human being.
I've got to work with 2 shelter dogs, and the one big thing for them, for the dogs that we were able to send out of here, is we know that we've forever changed their life, and I hope that the dog that we send out of here gets to change somebody else's life like that dog did mine.
The Climate Action and Adaptation Steering Committee is appointed by council. We have some local stakeholders from different businesses, industry, and the university. We also had some appointed positions from applications. It's a 13-member committee who's tasked with putting together our climate action plan. Our overall mission is to put together the strategies and the community-based ideas of what is going to be in our climate action plan. The reduction goals are to reduce from 2005 levels 26 to 28% by 2025 and 80% by 2050. We're having a public meeting on November 2nd that we're hoping that all sorts of people from the community can come and give some input. They can expect to give input on their ideas about what strategies we should adapt, what they think should be in the plan. The idea is to come and learn about it and see what you can do, and or just find out if you're interested in it.
Ped Mall is a huge draw for nightlife on the weekends, especially for students attending the university. And with hundreds of people flocking downtown, University Police came up with an idea to help keep people safe by collaborating with the Iowa City Police Department.
We started thinking about how can we help the students downtown.
Especially on the weekends where it's very, heavily attended by students.
Just trying to keep the downtown more enjoyable for everybody.
With those ideas in mind, Director of Public Safety Scott Beckner began a pilot program known as SHOUT, which stands for Students Helping Out.
Well, the students are trained in bystander intervention, and they also have a police radio with them, and they have a camera on them.
They're able to identify folks before they get themselves into trouble or who just may need assistance.
Known as student ambassadors, they patrol the downtown area during weekends and attend student-sponsored events and gatherings.
We patrol, make sure people are safe. If they're in a compromising situation, maybe step in and try and do something about it.
Say someone's walking by themselves, we just make sure they're okay and have people they're going to. Because you don't know if they're gonna drink and drive.
Wearing their bright orange shirts, the ambassadors are easy to spot. The SHOUT participants can help if someone gets separated from their group or needs a ride home.
We do have a truck that we drive around to help get people home faster so they don't have to take the big night ride van.
By working directly with Iowa City police officers, they prevent the department's resources from being tied up with these type of situations.
And I really wanted the program to be a tool for their officers to use also. Police can't really take the resources to do it, and so this is a great opportunity to use that resource.
It's been a win-win, I think, for everybody at this point. Our officers now have an additional tool to use to deal with individuals that may be separated from their group or if they are becoming too intoxicated.
The students are trained to identify those who are in need of help, hopefully intervening before they end up making decisions they may regret. It's an idea that the Sheriff's Office supports as well.
Johnson County's been dealing with jail overcrowding for years and years, and we talked about implementing jail alternatives, and I view this as another initial intercept point to potentially divert people from jail that may not need to come.
It's also a good experience for the students who hope to one day become officers themselves.
It teaches me how to interact with a lot of different kinds of people.
I want to be a cop, so this is a great experience.
I foresee some of these students maybe getting into law enforcement career because of their experiences here.
Downtown businesses also see a need for the program.
The students are here to learn, and sometimes with learning they make mistakes, and so it brings in another safety net outside of the police force and friends.
Just an extra layer of help for safety for students' sake is a great idea. And just make sure everyone's getting home safe or getting the attention they need if they do need help.
The feedback so far has been overwhelmingly positive.
When we tell people what we do, they're very appreciative and thankful of that.
The students really enjoy it. They feel like they are making a difference.
One guy, we walked home and he was just very effusive with his thanks, and it felt good.
Beckner and Matherly hope to run the pilot program for a few semesters to see how it grows, but it seems like a recipe for success so far.
They're taking the job very serious, they're being very professional.
The feedback's been positive, and we're very excited for the future of this program.
Our Know Your Neighborhood series moves to the center of Iowa City for a look at the Longfellow Neighborhood. Here you can expect to find great history, unique homes, and a whole lot of community pride.
Everybody is so friendly.
I think the quality of the homes, the scale of the homes, they're all pretty modest homes.
It's hard to find a place this quiet.
And we're close to downtown, so a lot of people walk and bike.
Located east of downtown, this quaint neighborhood is mostly residential, but it wasn't always that way. During its history, the Longfellow neighborhood once housed a brick foundry, a chicken hatchery, a farm equipment manufacturing facility, and even a semi-professional baseball team. This helps explain why nearly the entire neighborhood falls into either a historic or conservation district. And that long history translates into a variety of housing styles.
People compliment you on your house because it's different, or they ask about your house. What style of house is that?
From Howard Moffett designed houses to a pair of prefabricated lush-drawn metal homes, there's a lot to take in.
It's a full package, you know, it's a good school, the houses are really nice, but it's not a new neighborhood. And that's what I liked about this neighborhood, is it actually had character and some history to it.
You can learn about that history thanks to these historic plaques that line the streets. This project was spearheaded by members of the neighborhood and supported financially through the city.
The city takes pride, and the neighbors do too. And when they work together, it's great.
Another city-supported venture runs along Ralston Creek, which winds through Longfellow.
The neighbors work with the city. It's obvious, or we wouldn't have the nature trail.
On any given day, the Longfellow Nature Trail is full of walkers, joggers, and bicyclists.
It is amazing what we see out our back windows here along the creek. How many people come down this? Just a constant flow.
Jeff holds regular community cleanups along the trail, knowing that it acts as a gathering place for the community.
It's a place where people constantly meet each other. And even if it's just a neighborhood nod, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That trail used to stop at the railroad now known as the Iowa Interstate Railway, which was first built in 1855. But in 2001, the city developed this tunnel to create a connection to the south part of town. A group of middle school students recently spruced up the tunnel as part of an art project. At the center of Longfellow is the 100-year-old elementary school.
We're really excited that the elementary school is getting a complete makeover, which is going to be huge.
The building is closed for the school year as major upgrades are being made to the site.
Getting the electrical redone, being able to run a new HVAC system through the building. Just becoming ADA compliant is a huge piece. We've got an elevator system that's going to be put in. Just a building that all of our community can enjoy.
Kids will be attending the new Hoover School this year before returning to their newly renovated school next year. For school officials, preserving the history of the building was a crucial element to the project.
Thrilled that we were able to maintain this space, the exterior and the character. We have alumni that come back, and some of them in their 70s and 80s, and for them to walk through the hallways and tell me their stories, you just can't recreate that in a new space.
Perhaps the most valued element of the neighborhood is the people.
Really, it's the community, the people that live there. There's a lot of like minds. There's a lot of young families that have been moving into the area.
We have lots of kids on our street, and my two kids have lots of fun playing with the other kids and stuff, so it's nice. Longfellow
embodies the idea of a welcoming environment.
My favorite thing is we are a front porch neighborhood. We are not a backyard fenced-in neighborhood. It's that small town country feel where you know your neighbors.
Lorraine says the tight-knit community was perfect for raising her kids.
They could run around the neighborhood. I didn't have to worry because everybody was looking out for them.
Events like the community picnic you see here help fuel that connection between the neighbors.
I think it's really nice to be able to get together and actually know our neighbors. It's important to me as well.
Half the week we don't even eat at our own homes because everyone's going from house to house. The friendships are so good.
After moving away from Iowa City for more than a decade, Nicholas and his family knew exactly where they wanted to live when they decided to return.
Ultimately, it was this neighborhood that we always wanted to be in.
And he remembers the warm welcome they received.
I was surprised. I mean, our neighbors on both sides, within a few days of moving in, brought food over. It was a nice surprise.
We always want to welcome the new people, and then new people kind of sometimes aren't too sure, like, why are all these people coming up and saying hi? And then they realize that's just our community.
As the Longfellow neighborhood continues to celebrate its past, it is also working towards a brighter future and carrying on the tradition of a welcoming neighborhood with a whole lot of community pride.
Honestly, I don't think this neighborhood's second to any in Iowa City. I don't think I'd live anywhere else.
It's important to remember that bicyclists have the same right to use a road as any other vehicle. Bicyclists are going to position themselves in the travel lane where they make themselves most visible and they are most comfortable, or where they can position themselves to be able to make turns. When passing, treat bicyclists like any other slow-moving vehicle. Reduce your speed and then wait until it's safe to pass. Make sure to leave enough space between your car and the bicyclist. At speeds of at least 25 miles per hour, be sure to leave at least 3 feet of space. At speeds over 25 miles per hour, you want to leave no less than 5 feet of space, or even better, move into the adjacent lane whenever possible. This allows space for bicyclists to maneuver around unexpected hazards in the road. At highway speeds, motors should always move into the adjacent lane. This reduces the wind produced by a swift-moving vehicle, which can make bicycles unstable and can also startle bicyclists who may not be expecting a vehicle to pass them that closely. Slow down, leave space, and pass with care. We all want to get home safely.
Iowa City is a beautiful place during the fall. But with that beauty comes the additional task of raking leaves. The city aims to make that chore a little bit easier, allowing you more time to enjoy the autumn weather.
We like to get the leaves while we can when the weather's favorable.
The City of Iowa City has run the leaf vacuuming program since the 1970s. It runs from mid-October until just before Thanksgiving, offering residents a chance to rake leaves into big piles for pickup rather than having to bag them.
Combine them into larger piles, preferably where cars aren't parked and not around mailboxes or light poles or any utilities, and have them within 5 feet of the edge of the street or back a curb so that the hose here can reach them and we can move efficiently along.
The vacuum is only designed to pick up leaves, so make sure you don't put sticks, brush, or garden refuse into your piles. Also, don't rake leaves into the street as they can go into the storm sewer and cause flooding. Cars pose the largest obstacle during the process, so make sure to be mindful not to park in the street when crews are scheduled to work in your neighborhood.
On the calendar posted areas, no parking, that's by calendar days. You want to follow the signage accordingly, and we'll come the days that the cars are on the opposite side. And it's best to communicate with your neighbors. If you see they're putting leaves out, try to work it out if you have to share driveways or whatever.
The city is broken down into 7 different zones. On the first day of collection, October 16th, crews plan to tackle zones 5 and 6. From there, they will work in numerical order, repeating the cycle until the program ends on November 22nd. There will be a schedule that will be updated daily, giving advisement on where the crews plan to be over the next 5 days. That schedule will be posted on the Leaf Vacuum page on the city's website, as well as on the city's Facebook, Twitter, and Nextdoor accounts. If you do not have direct access to the internet or social media, you can always call the Streets Division at 319-356-5181. Weather and equipment problems can cause a change of schedule with little notice, so the best thing you can do is be prepared.
As you have them, get them raked out, and we should be there within a few weeks' time or less if conditions are favorable and Old Man Winter hasn't closed in on us.
Next time on Iowa City in Focus, nearly a decade after the flood of 2008, the city has purchased its 100th property as part of an effort to remove residents from flood-prone areas. More on that program in November. And let us know what topics you would like to see covered in future shows. Email us at info@citychannel4.com or reach us on Facebook by liking the City of Iowa City government page. Have a great October. We'll see you next month on Iowa City in Focus.